In an effort to save the capital of Beijing and all the government officials inside of it, flood water was diverted away from Beijing to nearby poor areas. One of the worst that was forcibly flooded by the leadership in Beijing was a town called Zhuozhou. Residents built dikes to keep the floodwaters out, and Beijing actually sent demolition teams to release the dikes so that the floods in the wealthy Communist Party headquarters of Beijing didn't have to suffer. This led the areas of this town to completely go underwater. There were literally areas that were so far underwater that it would drown any human being trying to stand in it. The police and demolition teams from Beijing went past villagers who were trying to stop them because they didn't want to be more flooded than they already were. Meanwhile, all of the CCP officials are not suffering flood damage because they literally had people go divert the waters away from them. And at the same time, just to be safe, they all headed to the coast to get away from the threats of the flood, to enjoy a beautiful beach paradise life while the rest of the peasants are drowning underwater. But Beijing knows that no one will care about peasants, and they're easier to suppress. People took to the streets and tried to fight off the police officers, but with very little success because China has the most totalitarian state apparatus in the world. Another unintended problem with this flood is that after the water retreats, everything that has been destroyed, like crops and animals, rot and spread bacteria and disease. In fact, some people are reporting that hospitals are absolutely out of control with antibiotic use right now because people are dying of insane infections due to all the floodwaters. When you have this much stuff damaging real livestock, live living animals and beings, and letting that stuff flow through water where people cannot escape it, you're gonna be dealing with a serious infection problem, with many people realizing that this is going to be a very, very long-term problem. It's kind of like Chairman Mao said, China has a population of 600 million, and even if half of them were killed, then there are still 300 million people left. The Chinese government has never cared for the people. They simply are scared of losing control over them. The Communist Party of China prioritized the rich and the party connected. If peasants die or they get washed away, well, it was necessary to save the leadership of inconvenience.